What are the red flags of toxic behavior? How can you trust yourself, your intuition, the signs that your body is telling you? Hey, Temple friends. This is a heavier video. Today's video is about, it's for anyone desiring empowerment, healthy relationships, the strength of discernment around toxic relationships, how to trust your body, the signals that it's telling you when you're around toxic behavior. So you can use this video as a guide as to how to know when to let a relationship go, determining and using that discernment. Is it toxic or not? Which relationships to start? And learning to trust yourself so that way you don't have to find out the hard way. Because a lot of manipulators, they know the tactics to use. It's like a scammer or a hacker. They know what to say and what to do to, quote, hack into your system. And it seems all nicey-nicey until that switch is flipped. And then all of a sudden, they're a completely different person. They're abusing you verbally, mentally. And sometimes it's a very, very gradual process. But this video is aimed to help you so that way you don't have to find out the hard way. You don't have to go through that entire process in order to realize, okay, yeah, those red flags I was seeing, I should have trusted my gut. And there's a reason why they call it the gut, okay? Because the first thing that you want to watch out for, the first thing you want to watch out for is, how does your body feel when you're around this person? Because you'll notice that your body will perceive a threat before your mind or anything else. So, does your stomach clench around this person? Does any part of you tighten? Do you start to shake a little bit? Does your throat tighten? Does it feel heavy in your body, like somebody's sitting on you, like it's difficult to move? Do you start to get really, really tired all of a sudden around this person? Do you notice yourself getting tired mentally or physically prior to when this person is in your presence or shortly after? Those are signs that that person is draining you. That stomach tightness, that pit feeling that you can't ignore, that often we mistake for excitement. Excitement has a different feeling in the stomach. Excitement feels like butterflies, like a lightness, like an airy feeling. Whereas that tightness, it's like almost makes you nauseous, like really, really nauseous. That's the other thing. Do you feel sick, like physically sick around this person? Where maybe all of a sudden you start getting a lot of colds. Maybe you just never seem to be well around this person. Or let's say if you spend an extended amount of time with, let's say it's a family member. You spend all weekend with them and then you go home and you're sick for a week. And you notice every time that you come home after being around them, you feel sick, like you got to recover. Watch out. Watch out. So those are the things you want to watch out for. I'm going to tell you a story of why this is so important, because I need you to go out there and protect yourself. Being of love and being of love and light does not mean that we just walk around the earth floating like a fairy and we don't care who we come into contact with. No. God gave us gifts for a reason. He gives us discernment so that way we can be wise as a serpent, but he gives us the compassion to be calm as a dove. So we can forgive those people, but it doesn't mean that we walk around being naive. It doesn't mean that we put ourselves in danger needlessly. It doesn't mean also, like, because you have people that you need to protect in your lives. Your children, your immediate circumstances. If you're getting drained of energy, you have to ask yourself, are you able to properly take care of those people like you normally would? No. No, you're not. You'll notice in the background, I got Grandma and Grandpa as they wanted to come through for this reading, because I'm telling you, please heed my words. This does not just impact you. It impacts everybody around you, your family, and your children, and their children, and their children's children, okay? We're talking generational habits, okay? And I don't know about you, but I'm called to be the generational curse breaker, right? Where we got some generational habits going on. Maybe it's how we talk to our fellow family members. Maybe it's a wide variety of things, but I can attest, I'm here to, nope, we're not doing that toxic stuff, okay? So I'm about to tell you, and I know I'm coming on strong, but I'm very passionate. I'm very passionate about this topic. So I'm going to tell you a story as to why is it so important to pay attention the first time, especially when you meet somebody the first time. Why it's, well, they just want to go out for coffee. They just want to be my friend. You'll see. Okay. So at my former job, I met a client. Okay. Now, at my job, I wait on a wide variety of different people from all walks of life. And I love them all. I understand that they are there by God's design and that I am there to help them with something. Okay? I approach every situation to the best of my human ability to approach that situation with non-judgment. But I also approach those situations with discernment alongside my compassion. That's balance. Okay. Now, this particular client, he said he just got out of prison. Didn't faze me a bit. I've waited on many people like that. And I think we need to treat people with compassion regardless of where they come from. I myself have a checkered past, so I'm not about to do that to somebody, okay? We had a really good conversation. I was building rapport with him. You know, it got on a very deep emotional and soul level. And he was telling me the things that he wanted to accomplish in his life, and he was asking me about my mission and all of that. And then at the end of it, he was kind of hitting on me like a little bit, which I thought it was funny. It was a little endearing. And, you know, I said, okay, well, how about this? I said, I'll write down your name and your number, and I'll sit on it and I'll pray about it. If God asks me to contact you, or within my discernment that I feel that this is right, then I will contact you. But if not, then, it is what it is. He said, that's fine. He said he's not going to try to pressure me. Okay. You're going to have to watch this video again to go back once you find out the end of the story. Okay. Because then you'll see all the little things I'm talking about as to how deep manipulation goes. Okay. So save this. Like it, share it, subscribe it. You're going to watch it again. Okay. And I mean, this was a deep conversation. Deep. We talked about stuff. Dark stuff. Okay. So, anyway, I put his name and his number on a post-it note, and I put it in my purse for later. And that night, and within the next 1 to 3 days after I saw this man, I couldn't stop thinking about him. And I was wondering, is this somebody I should really contact? We kind of hit it off. Should I contact him? I mean, he could end up being a big deal in my life. That's how deep our conversation was. Okay. But I was like, I don't know. There was just some kind of nagging feeling going on. I also, one of the things that he said to me, he said a phrase that, well, if something happens, then it happens. He was talking about, if we start out being friends, and then if something happens, it happens. And the image that I got in my mind when he said that was sex. And first off, I protect myself, so I'm really aware of men doing that, because that gets sticky really quickly. Because when it comes to the chemicals in your brain, so if somebody's not healthy for you and then you do that for them, you're kind of stuck to them energetically, spiritually, physically, mentally. You're hooked, hon. You're hooked. So watch that, especially if anybody's pressuring you to get physical with them, especially up front. Even in casual conversations like that, physical contact, sexual contact should never be casual because of how sticky it is. And I know I didn't always approach things that way, but knowing what I know now and all of the situations that I wound up in because I didn't have a dad that protected me and I didn't know how to protect me. Oh my, my. Oh my. I can't. Maybe we'll do other videos on that, but for right now. So, and I just kept getting these images. And I wouldn't even say it was something I really wanted. It almost felt like these images were coming into my mind that were thrust upon me. That's the best way I can explain it. Almost when somebody comes into your mind and you don't really want to be thinking about that person, but then there's just ugh, red flag. So there was that. I just felt like this knot in my stomach. It was just twisting, and I felt heavy and gross, and but even so, even with that body and my feeling, my mind was still like, well, but we had such a good conversation. And he seemed like he wasn't going to pressure me. But then I was like, he was, though. It was subtle, but he was. His energy, too, felt very, and I'm like, man. And he would only it felt like he would only look at me the eye when he wanted something. Okay. Now, those are the things I noticed. Those are the things I took into account. But even all that being said, I was still considering it. I was like, you know what, though? I don't know. I sat on it. And I was like, you know, if it was really right for me, then I wouldn't have this like nagging feeling, this back and forth. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. I don't have, like, when I think about my cat or like some of my best friends that I've met in my life, like the healthy ones, I never had that back and forth. I didn't have to think about whether or not they were good for me. If you have to stop and think about it, it's a no. Oh my, do you see how bright that got just then? I did not change any settings on my phone. I'm just talking to you guys, and it just went. Oh my gosh. The energy is real. The energy is real. Spirit wants you to hear this message loud and clear. They're shining the light on this for you. Again, you're going to want to save this, like it. Please share it. Please, 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 please. More people need to know. Because I've seen so many, not just women. I'm talking men and women going through toxic relationships. Needing to train ourselves on how to be healthy in relationships, but it's a jungle out there. Okay. So we gotta stay prayed up. We gotta have our discernment. Okay. So it ended up, I never texted him. I ended up, when I prayed about it, Spirit told me no. So I tore up his number because I knew my mind would want to go back and forth again. So I didn't want to give myself that opportunity. So I tore it up and I put it in my my burn box. My burn box is anything I'm planning on burning. Okay? So I want to release the energy, less trash, all that good stuff. So I put it in my burn box. Well, a few days later, I ended up seeing him. I think it was maybe like a week later. Week later, I saw him at my job again. And I told him, I was like, you know, I just feel like we're at two separate cycles of our life, which was true. I said, you're just coming out, you know, you just hit rock bottom. I said, so you're needing time and space and all that stuff to get your life right. I said, you're kind of where I was maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago. I said, I'm on a whole nother cycle. Like, I can't afford a difference in levels like that. He needs to find somebody that's at his level. Maybe. I don't know. It's not me. I could tell you that. And, you know, I was nice about it. And he said, you know, you really don't have, he didn't even want me to say all that, but I was being authentic. And that's the other thing too, is that when you say things that are transparent, authentic, and true, and it's almost like you can see this person like push back, like pull back, and they're like, I mean, I really didn't, I just, that makes them uncomfortable. That tells you that they're uncomfortable with authenticity. Red flag. Okay. Now, fast forward, I stopped working at that job, and I just stopped working there last week. So it's been about another week or so. Okay. Now, I'm doing a little bit of different income sources right now. One of them is DoorDash. I'm literally sitting in this parking lot, and Spirit told me I had like a 30-minute break, and Spirit was like, yeah, like you need to meditate right now. So I was meditating. And then I started coming out of it, and I'm watching this lady. Looks like she's got a kid in a van, and she's like moving a bunch of stuff around. And I could just tell, I'm like, that lady needs some help. Like, I don't know why, but I just really feel like she needs help. Well, Spirit's told me lately to give my tithes first, like 10% of whatever I make, to put in an envelope. And that's my tithe money. My tithe money is to be used for when I'm at church. Whatever amount Spirit tells me, I will give, okay? I can spread it between churches I go to. I can spread it to if I'm at a restaurant and I want to give a generous tip to somebody that needs it. If I'm out and about, like at a grocery store, out in public, and I feel called to, because Spirit's like, yo, that person needs help, then I will give them that. So this is something new I started doing. So as I'm sitting here watching this lady, I'm like, she needs that. So Spirit told me the amount that I was supposed to give her. And so I get out of my car and I head on over to her. And I said, this is going to sound strange, but God told me to give you this. So I handed her the money. And she about started crying. She said, do you know me? It's like, no, but God does. God knows exactly who you are. Okay, the plot thickens. Get this. So then she starts she asked me what my name was. She hugged me. She asked like why I did it. I told her. And then she starts telling me like all this stuff, which I'm used to this by now. I have something on my forehead that says like, I give you that permission slip to be authentic and like let it loose, because I understand that I can transmute a ton of energy. Okay. So she's just laying it all out there. Like, and we're talking, she told me some crazy stuff. Okay. Now, I'm having trouble. This is crazy. So, lo and behold, she tells me that this guy, her ex, her daughter's father, okay, massively physically abused her and is still in the process of like physically abusing and doing some crazy stuff and getting irate and still really needing help. She's going through legal battles, like all this stuff. Like she told me like a lot of the stuff that he's done to her is continuing to do, and yet is like saying all of this positive stuff, like how he wants to go into ministry and he wants to start preaching to prisoners and he wants to change his life around, all this other stuff, but yet he's still exhibiting all this toxic behavior. Like she said, he'll flip that switch. Why she still is in contact with this fellow, probably because daughter's involved, and I don't know. That's a whole nother issue. However, she told me his name. I kid you not. It's the same guy. And what she was telling me was not just past stuff, okay? Because mind you, he did tell me he got out of prison. So I'm aware he has a past. I'm not saying that. But it was all the current stuff. All the current manipulative stuff, okay? Now, Spirit told me yesterday... Spirit told me yesterday that I dodged a bullet. And I was like, what do you mean by that? I mean, I probably did. But what do you mean by that? I find out today. Oh, man. And she said he is like hard up on dating sites and like all of this stuff. And I'm just like, like the level of abuse was like, we're talking death. Like scalping. Like that level of threat, okay? And we're not just talking... I'm going to get a little dark here, okay? But we'll lighten it up at the end, all right? But the level, it was like, it was totally demonic, like the vibes that I was getting. Like I was straight up like, afterward, I had to go in my car and pray. I had to cleanse myself. Hold on. Let me, on that note, hold on. I'm trying to grab the, I don't think I'm going to edit this video, really, because I want you guys to understand. And I want you to feel the energy of what I'm feeling to understand. Don't go to coffee with that person if they make you feel that way. If you have any if you're not sure, don't. Take time till you know you are sure. But I'm telling you right now, the fact that you're unsure, that tells you all you need to know. You don't have to go to coffee with that person to find out. You don't have to get abused to find out. You don't have to wait till they love bomb you to find out. You don't have to. I'm staring at you because I'm serious. I'm lighting up some Palo Santo right here behind the camera just a sec. Because this energy is so heavy. I had to do a ton of cleansing. Like that energy is still all over her and her daughter. It's still all over her ex. It is still, you can feel it. I don't care if somebody tells me that they're the Dalai Lama. I don't care if they tell me that they're the Pope. I don't care if they tell me that they got billions in the bank. I do not care if they feel demonic. No. This is my little Palo Santo bowl with, I got some sage and stuff. Yeah. I don't pay attention to what people are saying. I mean, I won't say that. Like, I listen to what they're saying. But what I'm saying is, if what they're saying looks different than what their face, how their body is presenting itself, how my body feels, and the impressions and stuff that I'm getting, somebody could tell me, oh, Melanie, I love you, but I start to feel really oppressed, suppressed, sick, nauseous, tight, tense, sweaty, hot, gross. Icky. Yuck. Yucky. No. I heard a quote, and this is what I'll leave you with. I heard a quote that said, it doesn't matter if it's a friend, a family member, a loved one. If they're giving you poison, it has the same effect. It also, listen, it also does not matter what their intention is. If they're giving you, if they accidentally slip that poison in your cup and you drink it, doesn't matter if it was an accident. Poison's poison. It is going to kill you. Some is more deadly than others, like snakes. Depends on the kind of venom. Depends if the hospital's nearby and got the antidote. You might have to go in a coma for 10 days. You might die outright. The point is, you don't have to wait to find out. Okay? I'm giving you that permission slip. And if you need an excuse, say, no's a complete sentence. So, I mean, they're going to try to fight you on it. You know, they will. Because they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're going to gaslight you. They will. They will. Friends don't pressure. True loved ones don't pressure. Manipulators do. Save this video, like it, share, subscribe. Please protect yourself out there. Please use your discernment. I love ya. Take care. Mwah.